Hi, today on Gary's Urban Larder, we're tackling a challenge and request from a subscriber, Miss Laura, who wants me to make an Elvis Presley pound cake. It's a recipe from one of his childhood friends, a woman named Janelle McComb from Tupelo, Mississippi. Well, let's get started. Yeah, I'll take you quickly through the ingredients. This is a classic Southern pound cake. It has unsalted room temperature butter, sugar, 3 cups, whipping cream, also room temperature, 7 eggs, you guessed it, room temperature, some vanilla, and cake flour, and a pinch of salt added to that. Now, what you may notice is missing is any leavening. There's no baking powder. There's no baking soda. So that creates the challenge. This is a traditional method that relies on creaming that butter and sugar together until it's pale and fluffy before you incorporate your eggs, because that's how you get the air into the crumb, into your cake. Otherwise, it will be a mess. Okay, let's start creaming our butter. We're going to add the butter to the stand mixer. That is 1/2 pound. So this is not technically a full pound cake, but this is Janelle McComb's recipe, so we're going to follow it. And to that, we're going to add 3 full cups of granulated sugar, not superfine sugar, granulated sugar. Okay, so I'm going to start that on slow, and we're going to just let that cream for 5 to 7 minutes. And I recommend you use a timer. So we will set a timer for 7 minutes, and we'll cream this, and when it's pale and smooth, you can have a look at the consistency we're looking for. While that's creaming, I thought I'd talk about our flour. This is cake flour. Now, I didn't have cake flour, so I've used 3 cups of all-purpose or plain flour, and I've removed 2 tablespoons for each cup, and then added 2 tablespoons of corn starch or corn flour for each cup. So I have 3 cups of plain flour less 6 tablespoons plus 6 tablespoons of cornstarch. Now this has been sifted along with some salt, 1/4 teaspoon to 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 3 times. It's been sifted 3 times. So we will add this in halves, alternating, flavoring and our cream. So just so you know how to prepare your flour if you're using plain for all-purpose. So have a look. It's still going. We've got a little time left, and it won't take long. We cream together our butter and sugar for 7 minutes until it is pale in color and fluffy, which it is. And now we want to add in our eggs, 7 of them, one at a time. We're going to start it off slowly, and after each is incorporated, we'll add the next. Now, this is a cake where method is most important. So I'm going to be very pedantic about the steps, but that's in order to help you make this, especially you, Miss Laura. So the other thing, before we get there, is that we're going to use the cold oven method. So we're not preheating the oven at all. We'll put it in the oven, set it to 325, where it will bake for 1 hour and 15 to 1.5 hours. Now we'll check it, the wooden skewer test, until it comes out clean. And then we'll remove it. We'll let it cool in our pan before we turn it out. So let's add our eggs. We'll start this slowly. Got this on 1 in the setting. And in goes our first egg. I find it's easier to use it in a measuring cup like this. Rather than crack them and not know what you want, you can crack them in here. Hopefully you don't get a bad egg. And then the next one, just until those are incorporated. Just into our cream, sugar, and butter. Next egg. I'll finish doing these and then you can join me for the next step. Okay, all of our eggs have been added. And now I'm going to add our vanilla, followed by our flour. And I'm going to do this half flour. And this is on the slow setting. Okay, add it gradually. You don't have to use a measuring cup to do this, but for me it's easier so I can keep track. So there's 1 cup and then a half cup. So that is half of our dry ingredients, which is incorporated, and then we'll add all of our whipping cream. And that is a full cup. And once that's added, we'll add the rest of our flour. I get it all in the stand mixer and not on the countertop. And we want this just to beat until it's smooth, no longer. So that's approximately 4 to 5 minutes. Every bit of that flour. So our batter is now smooth. Okay, remove that. Drop our bowl. I think that's the consistency we want, the texture I'm looking for. Fairly smooth. I'll just check by scraping around our bowl and off the blade. Make sure we have everything incorporated. You always want to do that all the way down to the bottom so that there's no bits that haven't been fully incorporated. I think I'm going to give that just a couple of turns more. There. So just a few more just to incorporate that. Just on a medium-low speed. And again, we don't want to overbeat it. So that is it. Now we want to add this to our prepared tin, which we've greased with unsalted butter and floured completely. And I'm using a tube tin. Now, Elvis's friend always did 2 loaves. You could do this into 2 loaf pans. That's perfectly fine. But I like a ring pan, so that's what I'm going to use. And here we have our prepared tube tin, tube pan, whatever you like to call it. The point is we're going to fill it and we're going to put it in our cold oven. Start with cleaning my paddle attachment. Get that into our tube pan. There we go. And now the rest of our cake batter. And I always use a spatula so I can get every bit of my batter into my pan. Give that a good scrape around. That's done it. And I'm just going to remove any bits of batter that have dropped on the edge. I don't really need that. And I like to run my spatula around through the batter to make sure it doesn't have any air pockets and that it's fairly evenly spread out. And the final thing I like to do is just tamp it a couple of times on the work surface. That's it. So now it's ready to go in our cold oven to 325 for the next hour and 15 to hour and a half. Okay, our cake has been in the oven for 1 hour and 25 minutes. So it's time to take it out. Let's get it. Look at that, it's beautifully risen. And I have to tell you, it smells delicious. So we turn it out after it's cooled for a bit, and we'll take a slice. Given the cake 15 minutes, and I think it's time to turn it out. I've got my little cake stand, and I'm just going to flip it. Are we ready? Hey, we didn't lose very much, if at all. That looks and smells terrific. Okay, I'll let it stand just a bit more before we try it out. I'm really looking forward to it. So, Miss Laura, I hope you learned some things. Our cake has been out of the oven, cooling for a little while, and it still smells amazing. I want to thank Miss Laura for raising the challenge of the Elvis Presley cake to me. And I hope we've learned a few things about the method to make sure it comes out good. I also want to acknowledge it's the author of the recipe, Janelle McComb of Tupelo, Mississippi. I know she has passed. She and Elvis were friends since age 4. And what a wonderful thing to give a gift every Christmas of 2 loaves of this delicious, hopefully, this delicious cake. So shall we give it a try? Shall we cut it? Let's just, I'm using a serrated knife. Just want to get that first piece out. Oh, it cuts. Cuts like butter. Yeah, it's probably a big enough piece. It's still very warm. Are we ready? Oh, isn't that beautiful? Look at that crumb. That is fantastic. Okay. Lucky me. Let's see how it tastes. Oh, wow. That is absolutely delicious. It's so beautiful and fine, the crumb. It's got a little crunch, or what many of you think's the top. I think's the bottom. Well, that is truly delicious. Thanks again, Miss Laura. Well, thank you for joining me today at Gary's Urban Larder. If you've enjoyed today's recipe, please give us a thumbs up. Remember to subscribe to the channel and ring that notification bell so you won't miss a single recipe. And finally, please share this with your friends to help build our community. If anyone has any more challenges for me, let me know. Until next time, bye-bye. Oh, I gotta have more. I got to. Oh. So buttery.